Hey folks, this is a base, normal, plain old Nintendo Switch, missing the kickstand. Of the person he bought it from, who knows what they did to get their hands on it early, but this does appear to be a legitimate copy or legitimate, wholesale version of the Switch OLED, meaning that maybe some retailers might already have some of these sitting in a back room somewhere in the United States. I'm not sure, but what's interesting about this situation is that they don't want me to mention necessarily who they are. They'd rather me advertise their son's YouTube channel. So big shout out to Mr. Zeke725. That is the son of the person who sent me this. If you guys are interested and you feel very appreciative of the footage you're seeing right now, which is an unboxing, go ahead and follow and subscribe to his channel. I'm sure his son would greatly appreciate a little boost in subscribers next time he goes to release one of his little, he makes like little short comedy clips or whatever. So here's the thing. How did it come across where I have this footage and I'm able to share it with you guys and the images that are going to be coming soon? And there's not really a magical reason to this other than the fan reached out to me, excited to show off that they got their hands on a Switch OLED, and I just asked them simply if we could use some footage and use some of this and do our own kind of exclusive video here at Nintendo Prime. As far as I'm aware, we are the first outlet outside of the Japan one, that one YouTuber in Japan who got his hands on it early. We're the first English person I'm aware of to even post a video like this. So I'm greatly appreciative to him. I even asked him about potentially sending it to me so I could do some other stuff ready for launch, or buying it off him or something like that. We'll see if that is something that comes to any sort of fruition to benefit the channel. But the big thing for me in this isn't so much the value of having that early enough to do better launch coverage. What the value of it here is just showing you better looks at things that I feel like the first unboxing in Japan didn't do. I have a comparison where I'm going to be tearing apart the system, tearing apart the dock, and thankfully the dock does look to be a dust filter. What's interesting though is he's only had this for a short while and already it looks like the mesh is dented. He's not even sure how that happened, if it was just going in and out of the dock, or what happened, because he said he's very careful with his systems, but it could have also just came out of the box that way. That's something to note, but those definitely look like some hefty air intakes, and there's two of them just like it is on the current Switch. So very interested to see if they've changed the cooling inside the Switch OLED at all, and we'll find that out on my ultimate comparison that should be going out day one. So I'm curious to see if there's any cooling changes. Did they change the fan? Did they change the location of the fan, location of the heat pipes? Are they using a completely different board set up on the inside, or is this literally just what's already in the current Switch slapped in a new body with the bigger screen, and that's it? Nothing else has changed. We know the chipset's the same and there shouldn't be any speed differences. We do know the memory module should be bigger, and we should be able to show that to you guys when we tear it apart. But we can't know until we tear it apart what else has changed. It doesn't give us a good look at the kickstand. Obviously, we see one angle where the kickstand is kicked up, and you can see where the SD card goes in. That's all fine and dandy. I kind of hate those angled, like, slotting in. Obviously, I'm very curious about that dock design. It is different on the back compared to the current dock, with that double layer kind of thing. The air vents, notably, or what we used to call air vents, because we had those two slits on the original dock, aren't even located where you would take an air. Like, it takes an air from the bottom, supposedly. So what are those air vents doing on the back? I'm very curious if it's like the air flows in through sometime. USB 2.0 is not capable of those kind of speeds, so it should actually be a much more stable connection, especially if you're doing game streaming, let alone gaming online. It should be a much more stable connection through the dock. That being said, obviously I'm very curious about that dock design. It is different on the back until we tear it apart. What else has changed? It doesn't give us a good look at the kickstand. Obviously, we see one angle where the kickstand is kicked up, and you can see where the SD card goes in. That's all fine and dandy. I kind of hate those angled, like, slotting in SD card slots like that, but they do work, and they are on other devices bog standard and has been standard for quite some time. USB 2.0 is not capable of those kind of speeds, so it should actually be a much more stable connection, especially if you're doing game streaming, let alone gaming online. It should be a much more stable connection through the dock.